It's the battle of stock market investors. On one hand, you have Michael Burry, the person who shorted the housing market back during the 2008 crash and made a fortune. And now he says that we are on the verge of the mother of all crashes. And he says that stocks like Tesla and Bitcoin are going to crash. On the other hand, you have people like Cathie Wood, who says that we are just getting started, and now these two are fighting each other because Michael Burry is now shorting Cathie Wood's ETFs. What's up, everybody? I am Jaspreet Singh from theminority-mindset.com, where money minds rethink rich. The stock market has been nothing short of crazy since this pandemic started, and now it looks like it might be getting a little bit crazier. Michael Burry is more of a fundamental value investor. Back during the 2008 real estate crash, he saw that the housing bubble was super overvalued. He saw it was super bloated, and he saw a lot of risks in the housing market. That's when he went out of his way to short the housing market because he thought that the entire housing system would collapse, and he was right. And he made a ton of money because of it. If you've seen the movie The Big Short, part of the movie was based off of his story. On the other hand, you have Cathie Wood, another very successful and a very famous investor because she got onto big trends like Tesla before it became popular, and her ETFs, the ARK fund, have produced huge returns for their investors over the past number of years. Cathie Wood has created a few different ETFs under the ARK umbrella, and she mainly invests and trades on innovation. By the way, quick disclaimer, I do have some of my own money invested in some of the ARK ETFs. Michael Burry says that the stock market is one massive bubble right now that's on the verge of imploding, and we're gonna see meme stocks, and we're gonna see some of these startups and growth stocks implode because they are so overvalued. Cathie Wood, on the other hand, disagrees. She says that we're on the verge of a brand new innovation age, so there's a whole lot more room for growth that Michael Burry doesn't understand. Well, now they're both putting their money where their mouth is because Michael Burry is shorting the ARK funds, where he says that this bubble is about to burst. So let's talk about what's going on in the stock market. But before we get into that, I need you to do me a quick favor and smash that thumbs up button below. And if you haven't already, be sure to join our free Discord server called the Guac Talk community, because as you all know, extra guac is truly a symbol of extra wealth. And in this community, you can chat with other minority mindset thinkers about the stock market, the real estate market, the cryptocurrency market, and all things building wealth. This community is completely free, so if you want to join our free Discord community, I'll put the link to where you can do that in the description below. Let me start by reading you a quote from Michael Burry. This is from a Business Insider article. Michael Burry says that, quote, all hype/speculation is doing is drawing in retail before the mother of all crashes. When crypto falls from trillions or meme stocks fall from the tens of billions, Main Street losses will approach the size of countries. He then said that people's fear of missing out, FOMO, has propelled asset prices, stock prices, to unsustainable levels because hashtag FOMO parabolas don't resolve sideways. So what Michael Burry is saying is that when you mix FOMO plus easy debt, so FOMO is the fear of missing out, and it's also known as hype and speculation. When you mix FOMO plus debt, you get a bubble which is about to burst, according to Michael Burry. The place that we're seeing this FOMO is with retail traders. Retail traders are your non-professional amateur traders, people that are buying stocks off of their phone and off of their computer through things like Robinhood and E-Trade. So he says these people, your new traders, are now buying stocks not because they understand the underlying value or the underlying fundamentals of a company, but because they don't want to miss out on these huge run-ups, and because they hear all their friends making all this money, so they're buying these stocks with the help of easy debt, because now debt is so cheap, interest rates are so low, plus margin is so accessible on so many different brokerage accounts. So now when you mix this lack of financial education with this emotion of trying to get rich quick with easy debt, this creates a bubble, and Michael Burry believes that this bubble is going to burst soon, which is why he's been shorting stocks like Tesla, which is why he says cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are going to crash. And now he's been shorting the ARK funds. If we go back to the Business Insider article, let me show you what he says about cryptocurrency. He says, quote, the problem with crypto, as in most things, is the leverage. If you don't know how much leverage is in crypto, you don't know anything about crypto. Now, Michael Burry isn't dumb. He saw the housing market bubble before anybody else did, and because he did and he acted on it, he made a huge fortune. But Cathie Wood thinks that Michael Burry is missing something. By the way, when you short a stock, you make money when that stock goes down. So Cathie Wood created an ETF called ARK, and there's multiple different ETFs under this ARK umbrella where they changed this last letter, but ARK-K is an ETF ETF that invests in innovation. The reason why Cathie Wood has become so popular is because she has made a lot of money over the last few years, and not only has she made money for herself, she's also made money for a lot of her investors, because people who invested in ARK over the last few years have made a lot of money. To put it in perspective, over the last couple of years, this ETF has grown by something around 300%. So not bad for investors. Well, after word came out that Michael Burry was shorting the ARK ETF, Cathie Wood came out and she didn't stay silent either. So let me go to a CNBC article that went over what Cathie Wood said. She said, quote, "To his credit, Michael Burry made a great call based on fundamentals and recognized the calamity brewing in the housing and mortgage market. I do not believe that he understands the fundamentals that are creating explosive growth and investment opportunities in the innovation space." It shows you why so many younger investors and traders especially are having a hard time trying to figure out what's going on in the market, because you have so many big names that just completely disagree with one another. Like Michael Burry says we're going to face insane inflation in the future, while Cathie Wood says that we're going to be facing deflation in the future. Right now we are seeing huge amounts of inflation where the price of everything keeps going up, and it's becoming harder and harder for people to be able to support their cost of living because things are so expensive. But what Cathie Wood says is that this might be changing in the future because of a few different things. First, all this money printing is going to get absorbed into the economic system. Second, we could see a big surplus in supply, because right now we've been seeing a huge demand from people wanting to buy things and not enough supply, and this could switch as companies are trying to make up for this lack of supply, so we could see a surplus of supply. And third, with all the innovations and technology, this can bring the price of products down. And so with more innovation and more technology coming, this can push the price of products down, which could cause deflation in the future. So now that you have two polar opposite opinions, one person says that we're about to see the mother of all crashes, and somebody else says that we're just getting started. So what do you do? What does this mean for you? And how do you invest your money to actually build wealth? Well, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta make sure you have a stock market strategy, and you gotta make sure you're educated in how to invest your money in the stock market. This is why our team wrote a free guide on how to invest your money in the stock market that goes over investing strategies and different ways to build wealth in the stock market. This guide is completely free when you sign up for our daily newsletter. So if you want to get our free stock market guide, I'll put the link to how you can download this guide in the description below. But the second thing you got to understand is you have to really know your strategy and your goals in the market. If you are a short-term trader and you are trying to make money in the next 6 months or the next year, then you got to pick a side. You got to decide if you think the market is going to crash or if you think the market is just getting started. So if you're a trader, you got to pick a side. What's going to happen? Me, I am a long-term investor. I don't like the idea of trading because it's very hard for me to guess what's going to happen in the next 3 months. So for you long-term investors, what you need to do is you need to stick to your strategy. What is your goal? Because if you are a long-term investor, then what you're trying to do is you got to figure out, do you believe in our economy or not? If you believe in the strength of our economy for the long term, then all you need to be doing is buying and holding. And now you want to let the economy do its thing, because when you are a long-term investor, we're not talking about 6 months. We're not talking about a year. We're talking about 10 years. We're talking about 30 years. This will give your company time to grow, reinvest their money, and then see the fruits of all the work and labor that they're putting in right now. And this is where you're probably thinking, but Jaspreet, what if the stock market crashes? I'd be able to buy stocks for half the price. And you're right. If the stock market crashes, you would be able to get a huge discount on stocks. But the question is, nobody can predict when the stock market is going to crash and how big the next stock market crash is going to be. And so the question is, do you want to continue waiting for that to happen? Or do you want your money invested? Because if you're a long-term investor, what you want is you want your money in the market and you want to let the market do its thing. So now what you want to be doing is you want to find the companies you love, you want to find the companies you believe in, you want to own them, and you want to own them for the long term. Then, if the stock market crashes, that's when you want to come in and buy even more. The mistake that so many people make is they say that, yeah, I want to be a long-term investor. I found a company that I believe in for the long term. I like their products, I like their fundamentals, I like who's running the company, and I think this company is going to be a great winner for the next decade or for the next 3 decades. And then you buy this company. And then 6 months go by and you're down 7% in your portfolio. You're down 7% in the stock, and then you start to panic. well, why is this company going down if it's such a good company? And now you're not sure. Are you still a long-term investor or are you a trader? And now you might get panicky and you might sell because nobody likes to see your portfolio in the red. Nobody can perfectly time the market. And if you are a long-term investor, you should not be worried about these day-to-day swings. What you want to understand is, are you invested in a good company? Do you believe in the company? And are they making more money now than before? And are they making good products? If so, and if you believe in this company, you should just continue buying and holding. If the stock goes down even more, this is when you want to just come in and buy more. If you no longer believe in the company because something changed, maybe the executive structure changed, maybe their products suck, maybe something's wrong with their financials and they have too much debt and they cannot afford what they're doing, they can't run their business profitably based off of their financials, then you might want to consider selling because something's fundamentally wrong with the company. But if you believe in the company, then you should just be buying and holding. If this is you, all the emotional drama that you're seeing happen in the stock market is just emotional drama. Think of it like Jerry Springer. It's just drama that's going on, but all you want to do is pay attention to the long term and make sure you remember what your goals are. We will see another stock market crash. It's guaranteed. Crashes have been happening for centuries and they will continue to happen. It's a boom and bust cycle, and that's just the way the stock market works. So what you want to do is not be scared of a stock market crash. You want to understand the system, and when the next stock market crash happens, that's when you want to come in, have some cash ready. That way you can come in and buy aggressively where the assets and stocks that you believe in and that you want to own. This is why financial education is so important. That way you can cut through the noise and really understand what's going on, because you have to know what your strategy is, you have to know what your goals are, and based off of that, that's where you can make your investment decisions. But it all starts with that basic financial education. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, here's a video on how to build wealth that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, download our free stock market investing PDF. And as always, keep hustling. There's 10 places that your money needs to go, and these are in no particular order. First, some of your money needs to keep going back into your mind and developing yourself.